People switch to veganism for a variety of reasons, but regardless of your reason for this particular lifestyle, I think it's normal to miss some of our favorite childhood dishes. So on this channel, I'll try to veganize those dishes and make them as delicious as possible. My name is Ani and welcome to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I've picked vegan meatballs. Meatballs were definitely one of my favorite dishes when growing up. My mom always used to make them for us, and nothing was better than coming home to these beautiful, amazing smelling meatballs. So this recipe is very easy. All we need, and by the way, these celery stalks are washed. So we need celery, we need one big sized onion, and we need mushrooms. Mushrooms, you can choose whatever you like, it's optional, but for today's video, I've picked oyster mushrooms. We also need firm tofu. Firm tofu is going to be the base, the texture for this meatballs, and we're going to add all our spices later. So let's start. So I'll start with my celeries. You can just chop them at any, it doesn't have to be even because we're going to later put them in the food processor, so just feel free just to chop them. And then the onion, chop them the way you want it. We're going to put this in pan together and make sure that we saute them really well. And we're going to add our mushroom. Just coarse chop would be fine. So now I have all my veggies coarsely chopped. I'll make sure that my pan is really nice and hot before I add all these vegetables to it. I want to make sure that it's sauteed really well. Going to add the olive oil, my veggies. Good, now I'm going to add the mushrooms. Mushrooms are very high on water content, so I want to make sure that it's cooked really well and it's dry. Okay, now it's time to mix our ingredients. I'm gonna put everything in the food processor and I will show you how to add the tofu. But it's very important to make sure that we're not going to turn this into a mash. We want that coarse texture. Perfect, this is all we need. So I need a few pulses. So it smells really nice. So I'm gonna put everything in a bowl and then I'll add my tofu into this bowl. Okay, now I have my firm tofu here, but because there is a little bit of water in the tofu, I'll make sure that I press it really hard with a tea towel. You see, here, we get all the water out, so it's really nice and dry before I crumble it and add it to my mixture. Now I have my gloves on, and this is the tofu that I'm going to crumble, just add it to my mixture. So this is around 240 grams of tofu. So because we don't use eggs as a binding agent, I'm going to use chia seeds, but I'll show you how I add the chia seeds. Now, before I add my spices, I'm going to mix this thoroughly, really well. So as binding agent, I will use chia seeds. I will put this in the mortar and just make sure that it's a little bit crushed. And the trick is that to let the mixture rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I will add this here. Perfect. Now this is the fun part. I'm going to add the chia seeds. 2 tablespoons chili. I mean, obviously this is optional, but I love it when it's hot and spicy. A little bit of chili and salt to season it. I will add a little bit of soy sauce to give that the umami flavor, the depth of umami flavor. So add a little bit of, tiny bit of soy sauce, not too much. Perfect, and some black pepper. Now we put our mixture to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. Later I will add a little bit of flour to it, but I have to see. Now I'm going to make my very simple tomato sauce. So for this sauce we need some tinned tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. I'm going to chop them, a little bit of tomato paste, oregano, which is going to be fantastic, some rosemary, and obviously garlic. So I will start with crushing my garlic. I would go for probably 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, but you can do more or you can do less. It's entirely up to you. Smells amazing. While my sauce is cooking, I'm going to add some coriander to it. It will give this amazing fresh aroma to it. So in goes the coriander, and I'll add a tiny bit of flour as well. If you are gluten intolerant, you can add the almond flour, but I'm just using wheat flour for this video. Perfect meatballs. This is perfect size. So, time to plate this up. In goes my sauce. Now, I have the meatballs pan fried. And because I love this sauce, I'm just going to add a little bit more on the top. Voila, we've got this perfect vegan meatballs. Now I think it's ready to be tasted. Let's go. Perfect combination of spices. The umami, very rich on umami flavor. So I think if you want to impress your non-vegan friends, this is where you should start. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let us know what you think about this recipe in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.